Lighthouse Collective has been quiet for quite some time. And the reason is because last year, my sister, Steph, and I recorded an episode that I have struggled really hard to release. And that's because that episode carries my story, my testimony. And to be honest, it was a story I have never told in its entirety until now. I noticed that obeying the Lord wasn't simply saying yes to recording it or thinking of the outcome it would bring. What would people think, say, what influence this would have, the impact. Obeying the Lord is simply saying yes and doing it. And so here I am, releasing the episode I never wanted to release. My story, my testimony is out now. Welcome back to another episode of Lighthouse Collective. Welcome back to this episode that we have today, and joined here by my beloved, beautiful sister, Prissy.
What's up, guys? How is everybody?
We're in the midst of a thunderstorm right now, so if you guys hear any lightning, any thunder, just know that
they can't hear lightning, Stephanie.
Oh, that's right. You can't see it, but if you see any extra last flashes coming through, just know it's like it's really going down right now. It's not raining yet, but it's thundering.
Yeah.
But yeah, so how are you, sis? How are you? How you been?
Good.
How's everything?
We not only do we have like lightning and thunder, we have a daycare. Yeah, we have a daycare going on.
Big cousin Matthew, we want to shout out to big cousin Matthew. He's doing an amazing job babysitting his little cousins.
Yeah.
Not the whole squad, but he's got 2 of the squad, and he's doing amazing being a big cousin right now. I think I'm so proud of him.
Yeah.
Because he's so good at it. And
he's such a good kid. Yeah.
Yeah. He's so attentive to his little cousins, and so like he has that connection with them.
Yeah, he has a very he has like a soft presence to him. It's so funny because he can go from like one end of the spectrum to like the other end, where like he can be very, very sweet, very nice, but then he can be very mean. And so it's so cute because I'm like, he's the sweetest kid. Just don't
trigger him.
Yeah, don't trigger him because he will be the meanest child.
Yeah,
I will never forget. And I'm like, I have that there one day. I have a video of him like not being nice. That sweet kid, but being the opposite with me. And I remember he's like, "This isn't Didi's house. This is a prison." And I'm like, really? Really? That's what you feel about me? This is a prison. And I'm like, oh my God.
And it was all because you were trying to help him with schoolwork.
Yes, it was during the pandemic, and I was playing teacher, Didi. I had my own job, and he was not having it. He's like, what's going on? This is supposed to be fun, a fun place for me to come. Why are you teaching me? And so he had like a mental breakdown. I had a mental breakdown. And then at that time, I wasn't doing like what we talked about in a previous episode of proactive listening. I wasn't proactively listening.
You were just like, you need to respectfully, Stephanie, this kid.
And I will never forget. He's like, this is a prison.
I remember you sent me a video. I think it was in your room. He was like screaming, yelling. Yeah. But now it's beautiful to see him like grow. He's gonna be soon a teenager, which I'm still like, oh my God.
I can't deal. His voice is changing. So it's like
2 months. We're like less than almost 2 months away from his birthday. So, but I love seeing him being such a cool, like amazing big cousin because he's so sweet and attentive to the little ones.
Do you know what I love seeing though? Like Matthew, and I know we talk about him a lot, and maybe one day we'll have him on here. But what I am enjoying seeing, weirdly enough,
is his life unfolding and seeing how he's developing and the little man that he's becoming, right? Because, you know, you see him as kids and you see him like the things that they go through, the things that they like, they stop liking, and then how they start evolving, and then they start having their own mind, their own words, their own voice. And just seeing him grow up, it's just been very nice, like very beautiful.
Yeah, it's been.
And then just seeing the mind that he has, like the heart that he has and the mindset that he has, that I was like, wow, like I'm so thankful that the Lord has had like his hand on him. And how you guys also as parents, like I applaud you guys because you've done a very good job with him, in not shying away from hard times, helping him, and all of you guys growing up together as a family with him. And so I just see him and I'm like, this guy is gonna be just an amazing human being.
One day about how beautiful it will be like in the future when we actually hear his testimony.
Yeah, that's what I
like
was gonna
his
say.
walk, like his experience, like how he's been. Because in small things right now, I'm not gonna lie, guys, like there's been moments where I cry because he'll tell me something and I'm like, wow, God, like that's you, like that's you in his life, because he's starting to connect things and saying, okay, like this is what God does. So I know if this happened to me, it's because God is showing me this, or he's directing me in this way. So I'm like, oh, Lord, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, because I know his ears are opening to listening to your voice, and he's willing to receive it when he does hear it.
Yeah.
So yeah, as a mommy, like I'm
You better be proud. He's
I'm
a
very
good kid.
proud, and I'm also very thankful
Yeah.
because I see that the time that my husband and I have been spending with them, talking to them and sharing with them, and making it an open space for us as a family, not just to like preach to them, but to kind of come together as a family unit and just talk and share the time of the devotionals, but to make it relatable to them with like their day to day has been such a game changer for us.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear him sharing his like his story from like his perspective and his words, because like I said, I'm from the outside looking in, but once he shares it, it's gonna be
So it would be very interesting to hear like his perspective.
Yeah, today I have felt prompted to share kind of part of my story and my testimony. And it's weird. It's a weird part for me because not because I'm ashamed of my story, because now as an adult and through everything and all of the process I've had to live, I understand that it has molded me and shaped me. And I've always loved to, more than share my story, hear other people's story. So this kind of comes out of like a weird part because I'm always asking other people about them, about where they came from, their like homes, their lives, like what do they like to do. And I don't really like to put it on me, right? And so
You don't like the spotlight on yourself.
No. And I'm because I know my story. So it's like, okay. I'm so much more curious about other people. So anyway, I did want to share my story because I do believe there is power when we do share our testimony and our encounter and what happened that now I decided to live differently. And so you see me now, and as you might have gathered through conversations if you've been listening to the podcast, I am a wife. I am a mother. I have two beautiful girls. I love Jesus. I love his word. I tell a lot of people, and especially lately, I'm like, if I can sit down and read my Bible and that's all I have to do, I would probably do that. Because every time I read it, it's just, I get more insight, I get more understanding. And I like talking to the Lord. I like listening to worship music. That is just my life now. But that's not what my life used to be. And Stephanie knows it very well. We grew up in the church. When I came into the picture, I came as a surprise to my mom and dad.
Yeah.
And I've never wanted to go into that story too much, but I came as a surprise to my parents, and they had just become pastors. They had been ordained by pastors. And then my mom finds out that she's expecting me. And when she finds out she's expecting me, she also finds out that people started saying negative things towards the pregnancy. And my parents had to kind of like rebuke it. They've never told me exactly what it is. I think you kind of know something within it, but like you don't know
Not really
exactly.
sure. Like I have certain things that I remember of
Yeah.
the season when my mommy got pregnant with you. But mind you, I was like
You were 18. Well,
7
8.
going on to 8 because I turned 8 in April. And so like I remember certain things, but I don't have
Yeah.
livid,
So
clear picture.
anyway, we are kids that grew up in the church. I remember, at least in my childhood, I was at church Wednesdays for Wednesday worship. We were there Fridays if my mom needed to decorate or prep something. Our parents were elders in the church. So like our life really did revolve around it. And I remember as a little girl, I would struggle with something, which was I didn't feel like I fit in anywhere. So even though I grew up in our church, our family, like our immediate family at that time, were the only Christians, like Protestant Christians in our family, like our aunts and uncles, grandparents. Everybody came from a Roman Catholic background, and we were the only ones that were Protestant Christians. So we were different in that sense. But we would still see them. We would go to family parties. And so I didn't feel like I fit in church because I saw things that were not churchy per se. And then I would see at church like this perfection, like this good girl, this I don't lie, I don't do anything wrong, we don't sin, like we don't listen to secular music. And I'm here like, I know Daddy Yankee and I know reggaeton and I know all of these things. And so I felt like I didn't fit in at church. But then when I was with my family, with cousins my age, I didn't feel like I fit in either because there was beauty and there was a position given to look a certain way and to behave a certain way and to carry yourself.
There was things that you, and I'm not trying to make anything sound bad, but
No.
felt like no, like not towards you, but towards anybody who might be listening, especially family wise.
Yeah.
If you felt that in certain things the values were different, what they valued and what we were being told at home to give value to was a little bit different. So it created confusion for you.
Yeah, there was 100%. And so that's what I was gonna say. It was like there was a confusion aspect to me. And so I was a person that felt like I never fit in, and I was also very highly emotional. So I relate so much to Matthew because Matthew's also a kid that I'm so grateful to see how God has redeemed his story, right? And so his story is, though has similar things to mine, it's different. He's so confident in knowing who he is and being okay with being that way that he's able to say, you know what, like I don't have to follow the crowd. Versus when I was a kid, for me it was like I don't fit in, like what am I supposed to do? Then nobody likes me, then I'm not this. And so my anger was really insecurity. And so I would lash out in anger because I felt insecure. I didn't have confidence. I wanted people to look at me, but then I didn't feel like I connected. And so that led me to live a life where I was trying to find my confidence. And so as I grew up, my confidence became in my attitude. And because I had attitude and I could bark back
And I could bark louder.
and I could bark louder,
Mm-hmm.
then you know what? I am strong. But inside, I was not. I felt alone. I felt nobody liked me. And because for many years of my life, I didn't have friendship. Like I had acquaintances, but I didn't have friends. And so I would bring it on my fault because it's like, oh, I'm just an angry person. And I remember people would tell me, like, you're so bipolar. Like, you're happy one moment, but then you're angry the next. And those things really would hurt me. Anyway, as I grew up, that was kind of like my story. And when I become more
This is
like
that phase that she spoke about, you could say it was like your 12 through like 16, and then
Yeah.
16 is when you hit a different phase of your life.
yeah. So when I kind of get into high school, high school's different. Like high school, you see relationships, you see things that I wish I could have not have seen because your innocence is taken away.
For sure.
Like mentally, visually, like you're exposed to things. And so when I go into high school, I start noticing that girls were getting attention that I wasn't getting. And so I sought the attention. I looked for it. And that meant looking for attention from boys. And what was that? Was looking for it not in the way I should. Going back. Before I go into high school though, I remember that something that was very confusing to me. And I look back and I always ask God, like, why did that happen? Like, why? Was that? And I'm in no sense, because I know my mom and my dad listen to the podcast, want them to feel guilty. But I remember our church was part of our life. Like I grew up Sunday school, all of it. And it was like around middle school or like high school era, like right there, we stop. They stopped forcing it. We stopped going. Like they stopped forcing it. They stopped going. We all stopped going. And they didn't stop being faithful. They didn't stop reminding us about God. But that world wasn't there as strong as it once was. And I question all the time, like, why? I felt like that made me more susceptible to be like, okay. And the noise of the world became louder in my life. And with that, I enter high school and I start seeing things and behaviors and ways of being that called my attention. And I felt like God in so many ways would try to shelter me. But I was like, no, I want that. Like, why doesn't it happen for me? And I remember one of like the things I would cry about so much is like, why does nobody like me? Why doesn't a boy like me? Like, why? Like, I think I'm a good person. Am I ugly? And like my mom is like, everything has a season, everything has a time, everything has a time. And I'm like, but why? And I would see my friends have boyfriends.
I would know my friends then ended up having relationships, and then heard it from like family members too that they had boyfriends, and I'm like, but why not me? And it's so funny because last week I shared on my small group at church. We were talking about how we can make a mess trying to take control of our lives. And I felt like that was my story. That's my testimony. It's a mess. Because I wanted something and I didn't understand why it wouldn't happen to me. So I went out and tried to get it. For myself. And so I went and I tried to get attention the ways I would see other girls get attention. It wasn't who I was, but it's who I had to make myself be so I could get that thing everybody else had. And I began to live this life that way. I'm a feisty girl with an attitude. Always spoke my mind. And my body was there for everybody to see. As I grow up, I lose my virginity before I need to. And I begin to just open myself to the world, trying to get that thing, to feel confident, to feel beautiful. And at times I did feel beautiful. I felt confident. I was like, I did good. Like I'm good at this. But as I got older, I began to notice that I was always empty inside. Always empty. Never getting that thing that I really wanted.
Fulfillment that you were looking for.
Which was somebody to love me. Another person to see me and love me.
I'm not saying that you didn't get love in your home, because I know you got lots of love in your home, but you were looking for love in other people that you wanted to feel validated.
I was looking for love in all the wrong places. And I remember I'm in my 20s. And I start feeling a tug. And I ignore it. I ignore it. I'm like, whatever. I'm in my 20s. I'm living the Miami girl lifestyle. Like full Miami girl. I'm partying Friday, Saturday, Sunday, not coming home, doing things I shouldn't do, but I feel a tug. And I ignore it. And I remember one day I go get a physical, and I get the physical done, and usually if you don't hear back from your doctor from your blood work, everything's okay. This time I got a call and she's like, I need you to come in. I got super scared. And so I end up going with my mom. And I remember her face. I don't remember her name, but the doctor is a woman. And she sits me down and she's like, do you want to have this conversation? Because I was already 20. She goes, do you want to have this conversation with your mom or by yourself? Mind you, my mom's already in the room. And I'm like, no, it's okay. And she looks at me. She goes, look, part of your lab work came back and you have HPV. And I said, what is that? And she goes, well, it's a virus. It's a human papillonium virus. And typically you get that from having
intercourse,
Mm-hmm.
like an unsafe intercourse.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like am in a state of shock. And she goes, look, we have to do some follow-up work to see how, like, if there's been any changes like going on. You need to go to a gynecologist and you need to do all this follow-up work. And I remember my mom just looks at me and I feel just like shame, like an exposure to all of my dirtiness right in front of my mom. And I remember I just broke down and I was like, Mommy, don't say anything. Don't tell anyone, please. And I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for everything I did because you must be ashamed of me. And she told me, no, it's going to be okay. And I remember she walked it all with me. And she told me, I'm here. We're gonna see this through. I'm not gonna say anything. And we go to the gynecologist like a few weeks after, and they do a check, and the gynecologist, he tells me, look, it is affecting you, and we need to go and like I wish I could remember. It's like it was blocked out in my mind. But I remember we end up going and they have to do a treatment to me, and they have to like do like a freeze in my uterus. And the whole time I'm like, am I gonna die? Like,
Yeah, your mind.
I'm like, because with HPV you can get cervical cancer, and I remember they had to check my blood cells, and they did see that my blood cells were being affected. And so before that they could get affected, they had to do like a treatment to stop it and to then monitor it. And I remember for years afterwards, I had to continuously get pap smears done to make sure that I was okay. And so I remember the day of the procedure came. It was something that they did at the gynecologist. It wasn't like anything major. And through this journey, my mom's just trying to speak life to me. And I thank her so much for not leaving me and leaving my son and being such a great mom. And being such a great mom. Because that's where I saw how God uses moms to show his love to children. And I remember her being there with me. And I remember laying down in the little bed, and I told my mom, how can he love me if I'm so disgusting? How can he look at me and want me? I feel ashamed. I feel like a bag of rags. I feel dirty. And my mom looks at me, she goes, he still loves you. You just have to open yourself to him. And I remember she just prayed over me, and I just felt that shame. And now that I'm talking about it, I think my mom led me to my prayer of salvation. She goes, if you open your heart to him and you let him in, he can redeem this for you. And I thank you, God. Like, thank you. Because I've always wondered, like, when did I accept Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior?
You brought me clarity.
And now I remember when she prayed with me and she told me that. So thank you, Mommy. And so I end up, thankfully, the procedure worked. And so I had to go. And like every great story, I was saved and I became a full-on Jesus follower, and now I'm here. No, I didn't.
That's not my story. I wish that was my story. I wish I would have said yes and
the one of happening, bada bing, bada boom, like Cinderella,
bibbidi
boppity
boom.
boom.
And I'm here all for Jesus. I mean, and I know that those are stories and people have those radical changes. I wish that would have been my story, but it wasn't. I did what many people can probably relate to. Like, oh, yeah, that was me too. I got the healing. I was like, yes, Jesus, da, da, da. And I remember for that year, I was like, I'm going back to church. And I remember we started going to church, and I got you guys all to go to church. And I got baptized like shortly after for my 21st birthday.
I remember it's when I was pregnant.
Yeah, I got baptized, and I said yes to Jesus. But then the world was still there.
That's when Jesus became present, but that's how in our previous season we said he became your side piece.
Yeah, and then he was there for a while, and I was listening to all the worship music, and I was, but then I remember I was like, you know what, I'm going to start taking care of myself. And so I went from clubbing, partying, and doing all of these things that got me into this trouble to then I was like, I'm going to get into fitness. And I started working out, and I started going to the gym. And then little by little, that became my new thing, my new idol, where I got my confidence from, where I got my position from, because now people are like, oh, wow, Priscilla, your body looks so great. Like, my gosh, yeah. And I was like, oh, yeah, like, look at me. And I remember my body for many years after was a temple I would worship. I would wake up, and the first thing I did was look at myself in the mirror and see where I can cut here, make bigger where. And I was my body was my temple, and I was worshiping it at the gym 24/7, 365 every day. And I got into bodybuilding. And when I get into bodybuilding, you get attention for your body. And so you get the attention. I started getting the attention I always wanted from men. And so I was like, oh, yeah, you like it? Hello. And so it was the pictures here, the conversations here that led me to relationships with men that women would envy. Like, how'd you get that? Like, wow. And I remember I had boyfriends that my friends were like, dang, girl, how'd you get that? And we looked so great on the outside, but he had issues, and I sure as heck had issues. And I remember I already had accepted the Lord as Jesus Christ, like my Lord and Savior. I had gotten baptized, but I started doing this. And I remember I didn't feel any conviction to like still have sex and to do things that I shouldn't do. And so I remember, but the Lord is so good. The Lord is so good. Something I used to enjoy started becoming something that was not pleasurable at all.
Conviction.
Yeah. I didn't know it was conviction. I was like, what's going on? Like, what's happening to me? And I remember I get another scare. And it's like, now you have this. And I'm like, oh my God, great. Now I feel disgusting again. Like, why did I do it? But I would do it again. But I would do it again. I was like a little hamster wheel. Just, I kept doing it. And the more I kept trying to do it, trying to find kind of like that high again, I'm like, I used to enjoy it. I was good at this. The Lord started to like take it away.
take it away from me. He's like, you need to stop. You need to stop. But I was like, but God, I'm not doing it with just random guys anymore. He's my boyfriend. He didn't care. I wasn't supposed to be doing it because I was giving it to somebody that wasn't valuing me, that wasn't giving me a position. And so what he did was, haha, you're going to keep trying? Okay, I control your body, Priscilla. You think your body is yours? I have the final say. And it was just horrible. Every time. Every time. I was doing it to do it, but not because I enjoyed it. And he took the relationships away. And I remember we shared this in our first episode ever of how like the Lord just really was like, stop and come to me. And I gave like full, I surrendered, right? I remember I was already in a relationship. And though I looked great on the outside, I was a big mess. And I had depression. I had anxiety. I had suicidal thoughts. Like I remember driving my car and I would envision my car losing control and like veering off into like, you know, those little ditches like on the end and like going on. And I would ask myself, like, would anybody care if I was here anymore? What if I'm like driving and a car just like slams me in? Would anybody cry for me? I questioned myself, my value. And I remember I'm in this darkness and my mom, again, is there and she speaks life to me and she reminds me, go back. He's there. So I go back. And I remember I'm sitting at church again. My boyfriend at the time was not about that life. He wasn't. He was like, oh, you can go to church. I'm not going to go with you. And so I started going. And I remember I sat there in the sermon and the pastor was like, you need to let go of something you really want. Of this vision and this dream that you really want. You need to let it go and trust God with it. And I was like, okay, sure. So he had us do like this dynamic thing, which was he had like a wooden plank. And in that wooden plank, you had to write what you were letting go into the hands of God. And you were going to break free of it and trust God with it. And so I remember I wrote, I'm trusting the Lord with my relationship. And so I broke it. And 2 weeks later, that relationship I was trusting the Lord with fell apart. And I remember at that moment, I'm hearing the words coming out of this person's mouth telling me that they don't love me, that they don't see a future with me, that they wish they did, but they don't. And I'm just listening to their conversation. And I'm just like, okay, fine. I was with this person. At that moment, this had been my longest relationship ever. And we had been talking about moving in together and like, you know, kids and all of these things. And I remember he starts telling me this and I'm just like, okay, fine. Like I didn't argue for it. I didn't plead for it. I was just like, okay. And I remember
I'm leaving. And even then my friend calls me and she's like, hey, do you want to go watch a movie? And I was like, I can't right now. I'm in the process of breaking up with this person. So I'll call you later. She's like, wait, what? And she's like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah.
You were like numbed, like you were.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm fine. And she's like, are you sure? Because she's heard me so calm. And I remember seeing his face and he's like, what? Like, how are you answering the phone right now? Like, and just saying it so nonchalantly about it. And I was just like, I don't know what's going on. But I ended up leaving and I remember I'm driving home and where that person used to live, I had to pass, if you live in South Florida, it's like Chrome, the Everglades that you cross. It's a very lonely road. And I remember I'm driving down that lonely road and it's sunset. And that's when I start crying. But I'm not crying of pain. I start saying, okay, God.
What are you doing?
What? Like, I'm trusting you. I told you I was going to trust you. I'm trusting you. Like, I'm giving it to you. I'm letting go. I'm surrendering right now. Because you know what I want. You know what I need. You know what I long for. But you're taking what I think it should be like away. So I'm just going to trust you. Please, please fill me with your peace. Please help me. Because you're saying that you're there for me. You're saying that you work all things out for my good. And I remember just talking the word to myself. And I was like, you keep all in perfect peace those who trust you. Like, you work all things out for our good. You know, you give beauty for our ashes. Like, you're here. You never leave me nor forsake me. You walk with me. Like, please make it be true. Like, mind you, this was me trusting him for the first time ever. Like, literally letting it go and just trusting me.
Complete act of surrender.
And I remember, I was like, okay, this that I really longed for, somebody to love me, a relationship, a marriage, kids. It doesn't seem like it's going to happen with this person.
He's not the one.
He's not the one. And I remember I told the Lord, I'm going to just be with you. I'm all in with you.
Yeah.
Because obviously what I've done in my life and what I've tried to fill my life with sex, with party, with drugs, with then gym and a healthy lifestyle, all of it was leaving me empty. No matter how hard I tried to fill myself, it was a moment satisfaction, but I was empty and I was digging myself deeper and deeper into a hole. So you know what? If you say that you're the answer, then I'm going to try you. I'm going to go all in with you. And I started just like being intentional of going to church every Sunday, even if it was by myself. I remember around that time, they're like, oh, small groups, like start join, like you should join a small group. And I remember I was like, I don't know if I don't feel worthy enough to be in that group. I don't feel good enough to be in that group. I am disgusting. Like, I'm dirt. These are holy people, because what I saw growing up was these good little pastor daughters that didn't do anything wrong and they never lied and sex was a foreign concept and like all of that. And so I was like, how am I going to walk in there? They're going to see all that I am.
See right through me.
They're going to see right through me that I'm an imposter. Like, I shouldn't be here. And I remember I walked in and I remember the leader's name. Her name was Tracy. She was the nicest woman ever. She walked it, like she saw me, she's like, hi, how are you? She gave me a big hug. She's like, I'm so happy you're here. What's your name? Like that. And we just started talking, and I started hearing all the different women that were in that group. And I remember there was like a woman that was like a single mom with a young like a 2-year-old. There was a woman walking through divorce. there was a woman that was like breaking free from addiction. Oh, like so many things that
They were all broken. And
they were all broken, and we were all looking for community, and we were all looking for Jesus together. And so I was like, I'm not
The only one.
I'm not the only one. We don't have to be perfect. We can literally come the mess that we are and just find him. And that was so healing for me, like being there and hearing people's stories and just gaining strength from that. And I remember I just started really just serving, and I was like, I want more of this. I want more people that are going to speak life into me. I want more people that are going to share me their story and let me know I can get out of this. Like, this is not going to be my forever. There is beauty on the other side. Like, this is just a season, and I'm going to see a spring again. Like, I'm going to see my life flourish again. And all of it works out for good. Like, I want to be around it. I remember I poured myself into serving at church and just being there all the time in that surrounding. And I remember I used to judge people that would jump from relationship to relationship to relationship. And I'm like, you need to learn to be alone. Like, you need to do. And God is so funny. He goes, okay, all right, Priscilla, you understood. You got it. And I walk into the season early March. In July, my friend's like, please come out with me. Like, please come out with me. I want you to, like, come hang out with me. And I was like, okay, fine. And I go, and I was like, but first of all, I was very hesitant. I said that very nice. I was like, I'm very hesitant. I was like, I don't want to go. I don't want to be in that atmosphere because God freed me from that atmosphere. I don't want to be there. And my mom's like, I understand that you don't want to go back there. But remember what God says. What Jesus said. I'm not asking you to take them out of the world, but to guard them from evil. Don't stop living life and enjoying the beautiful things of life can offer. Like, go and have a good time with your friend. Don't go obviously looking for things
Seeking for something
else. Just go enjoy your time with your friend. Go enjoy something. And so I went, and I meet this person. She introduces me to somebody, and I'm like, oh, nice. And so I start asking them, like, oh, what do you do? Like, what do you do at the company? He tells me what he does at the company, and we just start having this conversation. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool, this is awesome. And he's just such a gentleman, right? And I'm like, okay, blah, blah. And I remember we just started having conversation, and then my friend was like wanting to have like meet guys. And so to help her out, I was like, oh, let's play a game. Let's play a game. Let's see how many people could get somebody's number. And this person goes, can I get your number? And I'm just like, take it back. I'm like, no, that's not how we play this game. Like, no. Anyway, fast forward. It ends up being my husband. My future husband, who was asking me for my number. And I remember I was like, wow, God, like, you redeemed that thing that I used to go looking for it. And when I stopped looking for it and I was eyes on you, focused on you, he was there.
You put it at the perfect time.
He put it at the perfect time. And I remember I was still hesitant of dating him and talking to him, but he courted me. Like, and I know that word is so foreign nowadays. It's like he courted me. Like,
and he did a very good job at courting her. I think we all were like, wow, like that was like impressive.
Yeah, I remember like he would send me flowers. Like, he would not push anything. And so one of the beautiful things, and we've never really shared it before, but I remember when we start talking and then when we start dating, I was very honest with him.
and I told him, look, I have given my life to God and to Jesus. He is my number one. And then you will be number two. If we end up making this a relationship, you will be number two. And he was like, okay. And I was like, but with that, just understand there is no sex. I have decided to abstain from it until I am married and with my husband. So if you can do that,
If you walk this with me,
like if that is okay with you and that's not a problem, awesome. And he's like, okay, fine. And I was like, all right, I'm just
I'm being honest.
being very honest. And I'm not going to say that the temptation wasn't there at times, but we did. And he ended up respecting that part of me, even at times that it got really hard. Did end up respecting that. And I remember I'm like, wow. And I would tell him he would do things so differently from what other men did.
God truly gave you beauty for your ashes.
And that's what I've always told him. I'm like, you are the beauty to my ashes. Everything that I looked for in the world, with the moment I decided to look to Jesus and trust him and give my life to him, he brought me you. And I think the reason why I want to share this part of my story with you guys is because I know I'm not the only woman that has ever felt that way. And that is walking or has walked a life looking to feel loved, to feel valued, to feel and have a position from somebody and not get it. And you end up feeling empty and you end up feeling broken and you feel shame because you have given so much of yourself to something. And I want you to know that one, you're not too messy, you're not too dirty, you're not too far away from God, that God can't use you and that God can't love you. He loves you just where you are, just the way you are. And if you just are tired of always coming up empty and unfulfilled, I want you to know that you can come to him. And he is the well that never runs dry. The Lord reminds me that I'm like the Samaritan woman that Jesus meets at the well. And he tells her, like, the man that you've had 3 husbands and the man that you sleep with now is not even your husband. And so he goes, if you drink from my well, you will never thirst again. Like the water that I give, you will never thirst again. And so I want you to know, like, if you've been trying to find fulfillment in partying, in sex, in drugs, in your body, in love from men or women, if you're a man, whatever, from the world, it's not, and it doesn't satisfy you, it doesn't last long. I want you to know that there is a well that you could run to and be fulfilled and find freedom and feel whole again. And yes, God then brought my husband, and I'm not saying that might be your story, but it can be if you just trust him. He can rewrite your story. He can bring that thing that you desire, whether that means it's a child or that means it's a husband or that means it's a job or that it means that purpose or that calling for your life that you are actually created for. He will actually do that for you. But you need to live a life of surrender, of surrendering from all the things that you used to do and walk towards him and then experience freedom and actually the beauty that he has for you on the other side.
Definitely. Listening to you today, like I really just listened. And I hope those of you listening like really listened, because it's beautiful to know that God showed you throughout this whole journey that he was there. But how you tried to, okay, like not now. But just remember always this, that your journey, and at one moment in your life, you probably said, why did I do things like this? Like, why did mom and dad pull me, like separate me from church in a moment where I needed it? But remember that God never does anything
He doesn't allow things without a purpose.
And everything had a purpose for your experience, for you to grow and to become the woman that you
Yeah.
are today. And thank you for sharing your story.
Mm.
Thank you for being so vulnerable and opening up. It's beautiful to see how in the moments where moments where we felt so much sadness, and I hear your story and then I was thinking about mine, it's God brought the good men into, like, brought our men, our husbands into our lives. And he's so good.
Yeah.
He's so good. His timing is perfect. His timing, and if you allow it to be his timing and not yours, it all works out for good.
Amen.
So, guys, thank you so much for listening. I really hope you guys enjoyed listening today to Prisi's story and her testimony. And if you guys have anything that you guys want us to pray for you guys over, or if you guys, somebody out there listening today felt connected, connect with us and let us know. And we're more than happy to hear you or pray for you. But thank you guys once again for tuning in, and see you in the next episode. Bye, guys.